Welcome to another episode of Impact. I am your host, filmmaker John Russell Cring, and today is all about improv. It's all about improv. We are going to improve our improv. We are going to prove improv to the masses. So since it's about improv, I will be doing the entire interview as an Amish fish with chlamydia. Now, let's give it up for Miss Terrie Gifford. She is the improv expert. Thank you so much for being on the show, Terrie.
It's my delight to be here, John. Thanks a lot for having me.
Okay, so Terrie, you are an improv expert. You've basically turned improv into a lifestyle. Is that correct?
I have, yes. I have workshops for youth, teens, and adults, and I have all kinds of things going on with improv that I enjoy doing.
Okay, how did that start? Where did that come from?
Good question.
Oh, thank you. You know, I improv'd that question.
You are so
Just
quick.
right off the top of my head. People think there's a script here. No, this is all me, baby. This is all just coming right out of the air. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, well, it's a process like everything, like your life and everyone's life. I started going to Toastmasters International. I joined a Toastmasters club called Thoroughbreds in Saratoga.
Okay.
I noticed the speakers who really had command of the audience were the speakers using humor.
Okay.
I wanted to do that too.
I should learn how to do that. That would be great.
You're funny already.
Not just looking. You're right. Thank you.
I took a stand-up course.
Okay.
I actually took a class, and we had a big showcase at Cafe Lena, and it was very unnerving, but I got hooked on stand-up. For 2 years, I was obsessed, and I would drive an hour to get 5 minutes on an open mic. That's pretty crazy.
Okay.
But it did teach me a lot about
I got to be straight here. You look like a little bit of a school marm here. You've got a little bit of a librarian thing here. You don't look like an improv, a stand-up person.
That's coming
Is
out
the
later.
package, different than what's inside?
Well, I'll tell you. You just
Okay.
have to hear
I
my
gotta wait.
story.
I gotta wait. All right.
This is a story. All right. After that, one of my stand-up friends said, "Hey, let's take an improv class." And I said, fine, let's do that. A guy by the name of Jed Mills, an actor from LA, was here in Saratoga. And he decided that he was going to do these workshops, and we took them. And I fell in love with improv because there was no memorization.
Right.
And it was all spontaneous.
Are you saying you're not
No
very
prep.
smart, so that's why you got into improv?
I'm aging a little, and
Okay.
that memory thing, it was, I don't know. Improv is fun. That's another
Maybe
reason why I liked
that
it.
is what Alzheimer's is.
Could be.
It's just a continuous improv once you turn, 65 years old.
That's true. But here's something about improv. It actually increases our brain capacity because it forces us to think in a different way.
Okay.
And it actually gets that synapse going where we can be a little smarter, I guess. Maybe if we're thinking on our feet, it's really good for brainstorming and those kinds of things. So that's how I fell in love with improv. And then I joined a troupe and did that for a couple of years. We performed all over the Capital District. But at my heart, because I have a education degree,
Okay.
you picked right up on that, I decided, all right, I'm having so much fun with it. Why don't
I like the school marm thing.
Yeah, well,
yeah, their whole website's dedicated to that, so that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is I wanted to teach young people and adults the experience of performing improv. I wanted them to have the experience.
So you've turned it into a business, which is fascinating.
Thank you.
How exactly? What are the skills that are incredibly important if you're going to be good at improvisation, not just as far as humor is concerned, but in the business world also?
Sure. Well, I think for one thing, you need to be open-minded and you need to be able to step out of that comfort zone.
Let me recommend you leave Albany then. See?
Well, I'm kind of
You
stuck.
see how it just keeps coming. All day long.
You're just the best.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm married to a farmer, so I have roots here.
Okay. Ba-dum-bum.
Yeah. Anyway, the idea is that people really, if they're looking to improve their speaking skills, they can use improv techniques to do that. And in fact, I've done a DVD on how, well, it's 4 improv tips for superior speaking. And if you take some basics of improv and apply them to your speaking, you'll be a much more interesting speaker.
Can you give me one of those tips? We've got 4 tips. I mean, still, there's 3 tips that they're still going to need to buy the DVD for.
Well,
so just give me one.
All right. Well, one is to be a character. You can just, if you're going to speak a line that maybe was your mother or somebody else or any kind of a character, make that person have a different voice than your voice.
Okay.
So example, you could say, well, here's somebody that needs to speak in a different voice, and so you just come up with something. You just make it up, or you can just say...
I don't know what kind of voice you're using, but I love it.
Well, I don't know either, but you just make up a character on the spot. It's not being a character that's already invented.
Right.
It wouldn't be like you being Gilda Radner's Rosanna
Right.
Dana, but just something else, something that you create on the spot. That's the idea.
What is...
It's vocal variety.
Do you feel, okay, is humor inherently genetically in our DNA? Is humor something that we learn? Is it nature? Is it nurture? Are there just some people that are just freaking funny and some people that we should just go put away in a closet somewhere?
Well, I hope not. Well, I'll tell you, it's really some of both. I mean, if you grow up in a very funny family, if your parents are funny, and you learn that at the dinner table, then you start to pick things up inherently.
Were your family funny?
Yes, yes. My family, we loved
First of all,
wordplay.
was your family funny? Were your family humor? See, that's...
It doesn't
You know what I
matter.
did not learn?
I'm not
English. English. I never learned English. That was my problem. Okay, please continue.
Don't worry, I won't grade you.
Thank God.
But I do think you can learn it too, because you can learn the forms of a joke. You can learn how to construct a joke. I think it's Judy Carter has a book out that it's something about from stand-up to sitcom, and it structures a joke for you, so you can make up your own jokes. You can learn how to write jokes, and I think that's something that anyone can do.
And that's something that is going to really, really come in handy. I mean, what is it that women say more than anything else? The most important thing to them?
Sense of humor.
Money. Sorry. No.
All right, that's okay.
No,
that's second.
No, that was good though. The way you set me up there, that was perfect. We go on the road. You know, Mutt and Jeff. Here we go, right here. All right.
Ready.
So let's talk about because you have a lot of different ways to include improv. You even have improv in the car.
Yes, which is great fun. If you're planning a road trip,
Okay.
and I hope you are
You and I,
in
we're
the
going.
future.
We're going down the road.
All right.
We're going down the road. Okay, wait. I'm
Oh,
double
wait.
shifting.
People don't really
Okay.
drive like this.
No,
though.
that's true.
A little more steady.
You know,
Otherwise.
in my road trip, what we're going to do is it's going to be a car of the future, and I'm just going to think it. I'm going to think
good.
my way on the road.
I think that's
Okay.
a really easy
Okay,
way to
so
drive.
we're on the road together, and I'm just like, oh God, I'm so sick of you, Terrie. I'm so bored. I wish we could play some improv games.
I've got the answer. Improv for the car. It's right here. Let's just
What
pop
in
it
the-
in.
We're gonna just pop it in.
Pop it
We
in.
don't have a DVD player.
Oh, it's a CD.
Oh, it's a CD.
And we do have one
in
of those.
the future, we don't have a CD
Well,
player.
we'll just think it. Just put it up to
You
our
know what I
heads
did there?
and
I
we'll
broke
get
an
it.
improv rule. I gave you a negative.
Oh, that's
one
right.
of the
You
major
know.
improv
Yes,
rules.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. That's
Yeah, you're
absolutely true.
never supposed to say no.
Well, you're always supposed to agree and
Which
then
is-
add information.
I've always tried to tell women I meet at bars that.
Wouldn't that be a nice
That-
world?
It's an improv rule.
Yeah.
You're not
You
supposed
have
to say
to
no.
say yes.
That's right. All right,
But
anyway.
they start out with little games that you can play, very simple, and then they progress to more complex once you've gotten some of the skills down, more complex things. But
Did you hear that whistling? That was like Jack the Ripper walking by there. What was that?
I don't know.
That was a little
Someone
bit
in a good
creepy.
mood,
I
you
didn't.
know.
Did somebody hear that creepy whistle? When, all right. Anyway. Okay. So, where are your websites?
All right, the website is on the World Wide Web.
Yes.
It's just Terrie Gifford with the double R-I-E.
Okay.
Gifford.net.
Okay. And do you do like corporate things? And
Of course, yes. I've been doing team building for 7 years, and I have 2 places where I do team building. One is Liberty Ridge Farm in Schenectady, and then I also have my own clients. but I use improv sometimes, or in other cases, they may want me to develop a program for them in particular. And
So
I'll do that.
the improv, as far as the team building is concerned, just sort of creating that, humor back and forth, or where does it come in?
It's facilitation is really what it's about.
Okay.
And that's really what both workshops and the team building, it's all about bringing people out, making them feel comfortable, getting an atmosphere of safety, developing bonding and trust, and then
Right.
taking them through the steps where they can be comfortable with each other. And trust is a big part of improv too. You need to trust that your scene partner is going to come up with some information or some fodder, conversational fodder, so that it can go back and forth.
The improv that a lot of people are familiar with is the whole, whose line is it anyway,
Yes.
where people will call out something and, and have that sort of that mixture, sometimes even doing songs, which I've had the experience of seeing some amazing improv. There was someplace in Hollywood where every night they do a new musical that the crowd calls out. So they do a 1-hour Broadway style musical.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Oh my God, and it's incredible. But I have also seen some bad improv, some just there's nothing worse than the experience of people trying to act like they know what they're doing and they're not. So what are some of the pitfalls in improv that you want to avoid at all costs?
Well, I think if you just stay positive, that is really the number one thing. You always need to reply.
But I'm a very negative person,
Well,
Terry. I
then
need help with this.
One of the rules is never deny, and you brought that up earlier. And then another one is
No, I do deny. That's right. That's the fun. That's the fun, people. Scaring the guests.
Yes,
that's right.
I'll
That's
be
what
back.
it's all about. Well, they'll never come back again. Okay. So
thing I put out in
you
the
want to keep it positive. You don't want to create negativity.
Yeah.
Does it feel like sometimes people in an improv situation get out into water that's a little bit too deep and they're not ready for it? Is improv something that you have to develop like a muscle?
Yeah, it is. It really is. And that's why you need to do workshops and you need to have rehearsals and practices if you're going to go on stage with it. But a big part of it is listening, developing your listening skills, because instead of trying to develop what you're going to say while the other person is talking, it's a new way of communicating. It's a much better way of listening very intently to what the other person is saying. And then when it's your turn to talk, then you start thinking on your feet. And this is where the brainstorming skills come in.
Oh, were you talking? I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
He was listening.
No,
intently.
I really wasn't. See, that's why I wear the glasses, so you can't tell. I was actually looking over there,
I
looking
see.
for the
Whistler.
The whistler, yes. About to kill all of us, I believe.
Oh, here comes his mother. I think she's
Exactly.
all right.
I was like, ah! Right,
His
yeah.
mother,
So, when you're when you're doing your class, do you do like private classes? Do you have like the way the Groundlings will have people come into a location and you do classes there too?
Well, I do coaching for individuals.
Okay.
Pretty much, my workshops are small enough so that people can get individual attention. But it's an 8-week workshop for adults.
How do you break the fear? I think fear. I mean, comedy is literally going out there sometimes on the thinnest of ice. And and if you're going for the biggest joke, then you could have the biggest failure.
Sure, you can bomb.
Ah, God, yes, absolutely.
It
So
happens.
how do you get rid of the fear?
Well, I think one fear that people have is they're going to forget what they were going to say. And that's totally removed with improv.
Okay.
Because you're just making it up on the spot. And it doesn't have to be funny. That's another thing to know about it, is that it's just learning that give and take, that conversational give and take. So it also really increases our social skills.
Well, you know that I'm a filmmaker, so
Yeah.
improv is it's a very, very interesting tool because as a writer, I want people to stay on the script, to a certain degree, but sometimes they'll have an idea or a way to make it a little bit more conversational, and I could see possibly in business if there was an idea or a point that you were trying to get across that was very technical or, you know, very dry, that improv would be extremely helpful for that.
It is, and in fact, I'm glad you brought that up because Alan Alda, you probably remember him, Hawkeye Pierce from MASH.
Never heard of him. Yes, of course, Hawkeye, yes, yes.
He started working with scientists who had to deliver just exactly what you were talking about, a very dry presentation, very technical. They were having a hard time communicating with their audience effectively, so he started working with them using improv techniques. Then he got involved with SUNY Stony Brook on Long Island, and the Department of Journalism got involved. They wrote grants, and now it's part of the curriculum at the college level.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, it's really gaining momentum in the business world, in the science world, and just as far as you and I are concerned, in our little world.
That's absolutely amazing. Maybe one of these days, instead of doing a team building exercise, it'll be a team building musical.
There you go. There's a good combination.
That's
Let's produce it.
That's right. Terrie Gifford's on Impact.
Da, 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 John's turn.
Wait a minute. It can't be my turn. I had the first line. See, that was bad. That right there. That was a denial. That was a negative she threw back at me.
Out, and that's one of the
up.
things you're not supposed to do is wimp out.
You wimped out. That's next time. Next time we'll work it out. Where can people find all of this?
On my website.
Right. Your website.
TerrieGifford.net.
TerrieGifford.net, and you doing the individual classes and the CDs, and all of this is what it's going to do is it's just going to make you a better communicator. And I tell people there is nothing in life you do but sell. You sell yourself artistically, you sell yourself personally, and if you're a bad salesman, no one's going to want to buy. So that's what you're helping people with.
That's right. And I think if you can make people feel comfortable by being comfortable yourself, using improv techniques, people and then they like you, and that's something that makes people feel like, oh, I want to do business with that person. I like that person.
So where are, we know about the website, but what are the dates? Where can people find out, exactly where they can do some of these classes?
All right, well, they're on my website as far as upcoming. Well, if you look under improv programs, and then there's a subhead, upcoming programs, you can find out that I will be teaching at the Manfred Real Estate Center in Latham, and that starts in mid-September. That's on Wednesday nights from 6:30 to 8:30, an 8-week program, ends in a show. And then another really cool location is on Tuesday nights, starting in mid-September. That is going to be at the 70 Main, which is the address, and it's also the name of the venue, in Greenwich.
Okay.
It's so cool. It's a post and beam construction. You walk in, it's 2 stories, and it's got a nice professional stage with professional lighting.
See, that's a lot of organization and professionalism for improv. If you were really, really an improv maven, you would say, we'll let you know 5 minutes before where this is going to be.
You have to be a little more communicative than that.
That's right. Facilitate.
People have to plan.
That's right. Thank you so much for being on the show,
Thank you so
Terrie.
much. It was a delight.
It was fun. We had a good time. That's right. Absolutely. And check out her website. Check out all of those places. It gives you a reason to go to Greenwich, for the love of God. Are you kidding me? We got to have a reason for that. And I just want to point out that I improvisationally did not wear shoes today. Oh, yeah.
Proctors, bringing the best in arts, education, and entertainment.